Welcome to Convos for A Bubbly Life. I'm your host, Tiara, aka T, and I love to live a life that is bubbly, meaning an extraordinary life by your own design. On this podcast, we explore the journey of creating the life of our desires. So let's get to it. So today happens to be a full moon. Obviously, it's not going to be the full moon with this post, but you can use this information for inspiration for the next full moon because we got one every month. Sometimes we get two. So if you're inside the A Bubbly Life community, then I will share when it's a full moon or a new moon, or you can just go on Google and search what it is, for the month that you're in, whenever, so you can, stay on top of that. But anyways, all that to say is for the full moon, I love to set intentions to let go of, and release whatever is not serving me in the moment. And then I like to take that space that I am creating and fill it with something, with a new intention to replace it. Because I do believe that when we create space, space needs to be filled. Matter wants to fill in the space, whether if you pour out a cup, the cup's still full of air, right? There's nothing like an actual void. There's something that needs to come into it. And it also has been said that when we set an intention to maybe stop a cycle, for example, if we don't create a new cycle to start again, then we end up repeating the same cycle, even if we were acknowledging oh, I wanted to stop this. Why can't I stop this? Well, what do you want to do instead? And so with that, this this full moon, there we go. This full moon, I am setting the intention to really dig deeper into the words that I say and how I approach anything that I desire in my life, meaning that I am removing the conditionals, the maybes, the tryings, the snarky, sarcastic, self-deprecating commentary about something that I'm hoping for, but not receiving in the moment. And so therefore I'm saying something negative about myself. So bringing that attention to it and really becoming the Tiara that already has everything that she wants and needs and desires. And therefore she speaks with trust and direction about whatever it is that we are looking for. For example, oh, maybe one day I'll get a dog if I ever get a house that has a lawn and whatever, one day, maybe, who knows? That's okay, can I live without ever having a dog in the future? Sure. I don't have a dog now. So do I know that I can live without it? Yeah. But if I really, really want this thing, why talk about it in such a flippant, untrusting way? I am talking about what I desire and I am bringing it forward. So change the phrase to when I get a house. So that takes the conditional of the house having out as well. When I have a house with a yard, I am getting a dog. There it is. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. It's that simple. That is at least putting forth the fact that I trust that one day, it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but one day I'm going to have everything that I desire. And that is enough. And that is enough. I sipped my tea on that one. I think sometimes we make the conversation have to be so convoluted. And I'm coming to a place in a space where I am making it simple. Going back to the conversation we had a while ago about living the soft life, right? So soft life does not overcomplicate things. We don't need to overcomplicate and overachieve in order to receive. I love that, rhyme there. We don't need to complicate and overachieve in order to receive. A lot of times I feel like society has really ingrained in us this idea of like working overtime, of grinding, of struggling, of go, 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 go. And really, and I feel like I say this all the time, really the universe, nature wants us to flow, 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 right? We make it so hard on ourselves. And with this full moon, I am releasing the hard. I am releasing the struggle is really what it is, because I find when I approach a desire in a conditional sense, in a like, well, maybe one day, if I can I, and in a way that creates space for doubt, creates space for failure, creates space for lack, that in that space that has been created, that creates more struggle for me. When I come from a definitive, this is happening, we're talking about it, I might not know exactly how it's happening, but I know that everything is going to happen and everything is going to be okay. When I talk about it from that perspective, all of a sudden I get answers, like whether it's like I open my TikTok and literally the first video that shows up is like something that's talking about whatever it was that I like set an intention for, some sort of synchronistic moment shows up for me to let me know that I'm on the right track. And I might not need to actually physically do anything in that moment, but I do know that, okay, cool. Like I like my back, I am supported. I know where I'm going. Like this is going to work out for me. I just need to keep showing up. I just need to keep doing my due. I just need to keep being me. My words have an impact. My presence is enough. I am enough. And I can continue to say this, and I can continue to move forward in my life with this energy, with this mindset. And before I know it, everything that I've been asking for, everything that I've been desiring, I am now experiencing. And it's beautiful, and it's wonderful, and it is magical. It is extraordinary. And that's what we're here for in the A Bubbly Life community. Whether you're inside the membership or not, you're a part of this community. We are a community. If you're listening, if you are enjoying my content, you are a member of the A Bubbly Life community. Now, the membership does allow you more access to me and other people a part of the membership community to get support along the way, which I think is super helpful. That definitely for me, going through all the things that I've gone through over the years in my learning about business, in my becoming a Reiki Master Teacher, and becoming a certified life and business coach, and becoming this version of Tiara, I've learned so many life lessons, and I have connected with so many amazing people. And it really, one, helped me to get out of my box, in the sense that like, I didn't know my capacity until I got out of like I don't want to say like small town, but like it's like small town mindset, right? Of like, okay, like I once thought that all I had to do was go to college and then I'd get a job, and then, that is life and whatever. And then all of a sudden I started meeting people that were going against the grain. Maybe they weren't getting a traditional job. Maybe they were going for, their, being a full-time actor, being a full-time performer. And I was like, that is amazing. And I want to do that. And going on that journey of trying to figure out how I can live the luxurious life that I want and still get the performance, and took me down the line of becoming an entrepreneur and learning so many different things. And while I still love performance, that's not my end goal, but that beginning desire, which led me to, through some extraordinary experiences, I also learned more about myself and my capacity, and how I could grow, and how I don't have to do what I always thought was what I needed to do. I didn't have to stick to a particular expectation. And it has opened so many doors in the sense that I don't know, if you would have asked me, 7 years ago, would I be living in LA? I would never have been like, yeah, of course I'm living in LA, right? I wouldn't have had the inkling or the idea that I could just move across the country. I would never have had the inkling that I could just have the notoriety on any sort of social media platform, have any sort of impact on other people's lives. I would have never understood the impact that we as individuals had on each other if I had not gone on my own personal journey, which I think is super important for us. Sometimes, I used to get into this space of, one, I would feel lack in time in the sense that I don't have enough time. I need to get everything that I ever desired right now so that I can enjoy it for the rest of my life. But I'm in my 30s. I easily could have another 70 years of life. So I have another 70 years of learning and growing and expanding and doing. So what's the rush? I feel like part of the rush is this fear that it's not going to show up, so I need to condense time to make things happen. But when we come to a place of being very direct, very pointed, very intentional, very trusting in ourselves and our abilities, then there is no need to rush it. We can be softer. We can take time to listen to our instincts, take time to listen to, messages from our higher self, God, source, whomever. Take time to master different strategies and skill sets so that we can apply it to whatever the desire is that we want. Take time to romance our lives, right? Health is always top of mind, right? So rather than rushing some fad crash diet and then not being energetic, feeling exhausted, why not create a lifestyle? Right? I mean, okay, cool. You're trying to look good for a wedding, whatever, fine. But if you are looking to make a lifelong change, make a lifelong change. Yeah. I've spent the last probably 30 something years doing yo-yoing and crash dieting and all that kind of stuff just because that was what I was taught as a kid. That's what we're do, you see something on Oprah or Dr. Oz or whatever. And then you try to emulate it. And then, it works out for a little bit and then you get bored of it or you whatever and go back to your old habits. And then next thing you know, you're back in the same spot and the cycle continues, right? So if we're looking for a new life, we're looking for a new experience, we have to create that new life and that new experience and be very intentional about it and not rush it. Or at least I do. I don't know. Maybe you can do it and it works out for you. But I have found it does not sustain when it's looking for a quick fix rather than some mastery of self. So with that, mastery of the extraordinary comes inside the A Bubbly Life membership. We're working on these things. We are creating the best lives. We are living the best lives, right? Our best lives. I don't even want to say creating anymore because creating is putting us in the space of constantly having to keep building. Not that we don't always grow and expand and continue to learn, but, and it's I feel when I say creating, like if we think about a car, right? Oh, I'm building this car. I'm building this car. I'm building this car. I'm building this car. Or refurbishing, or maybe you get like a 1967 Mustang, and you're like, I'm rebuilding this car, right? And then you work on it. You like do this, you do that, and at some point, the car needs to be finished, right? So if we keep saying I'm rebuilding, then I feel like you're finding another thing that needs to be worked on. So that's where I'm like moving from the creating to living. I am living an extraordinary life. That still gives me space to learn and expand and grow, but I'm no longer creating it. It's already here. Right. So speaking into like that present tense that I feel like people talk about a lot. So with that, I am going to pop off of here, but I do invite you to join the A Bubbly Life membership if you have not already. And remember to check out the moon phases if that's something that you want to add to your practice if you have not already. And go out there and live a bubbly life, an extraordinary life by your own design. Ta-ta for now.